you have spent your entire working life accumulating money in that 401k or pension plan. Now, what do? You don't want to make the wrong irrevocable decision that could cost you a happy retirement. So in this video, I will share with you some of the pluses and minuses with regards to some of the choices that you are facing with your 401k or your pension plan. Hi, my name is Mark Singer, founder of the Retirement Authority. And for up-to-date and timely information on your retirement or income options, subscribe to our channel and click on the link below to be notified when we post new videos. So for many people, the amount of money they've accumulated in that employer retirement plan is the biggest asset they'll ever have to deal with outside of the house. And the choices that you make moving forward can make or break your retirement. So what I want to do is share with you some of the pros and cons for some of the options that you may have so that you'll be better informed and potentially take more control over having a confident retirement. So in general, there are three options that you have. First, you could leave it with your employer or your ex-employer now that you're retiring. Second, you could annuitize the money, get a monthly income from it. Or third, you could roll over that 401k or pension plan to your own IRA. So let's review some of the ups and downs, pluses and minuses for each. So let's start with the first possibility, which is just leaving it in the ex-employer's plan. Now, not everyone has that opportunity to do that. Many employers will not, as you retire, allow you to leave it. But for those who do, the pros that you have there is, obviously, you're familiar with the plan and you feel comfortable there. That's really important. The other is that you don't have to make that decision right now in terms of what you're going to do, sort of kicking the can down the road. The cons on this, however, is that at some point, you are going to have to make that decision. And more importantly, in a sense, you're putting your retirement at risk in that you're avoiding doing the planning. So those are some of the pluses and minuses for those who have the ability to leave their plan with the ex-employer. So let's go on to the second choice, annuitizing the money. And we'll take a look at some of the pros and cons here for you. So you have a certain amount of money, $500,000, $1 million in your 401k. The benefit of taking the income, the technical term is annuitization, is that you will get a consistent and predictable income stream for the rest of your life and potentially your spouse's as well, which will take the worry off of you with regards to one of the biggest issues we have as we move into retirement, which is where is the income coming from and can I count on it, right? However, there's two downsides to this. First, typically you do not get a cost of living adjustment with this. So whatever income you're getting today will not go up with as inflation goes up over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So in essence, you're sort of losing purchasing power. The other downside is that once you give them the $1 million, you no longer have it. So you've made the decision that you're going to take the income, but you're not going to have money or liquidity. So if something big comes up and you've given them all of the 401k and in return gotten that income, you may not have the flexibility to do what you want to do, pursue what you want to buy. There's a trade-off there. Now, if you have other assets that you can carve out and do the annuitization with the 401k or the pension, and then have liquidity or money from other accounts, retirement accounts, whatever, then that might work out. But if your largest asset is the 401k, the downside to annuitizing is you don't have the money. Now, before I go into the third option, I want to make sure that you stay to the end of this because I have a couple of tips that retirees typically overlook that are opportunities here within the 401k world that you may not be aware of. So let's go to the third general choice, which is to do the rollover. And let's talk about the pros and the cons here. So the pro may be that you could enjoy more flexibility with your investment options. Now, for many 401ks, they've got some limitation to the amount of investments that you have, and it may be that where you roll it over into your own IRA, you may have more. So you may have the ability to do more investing, more asset allocation, more diversification. That could be a big upside for you. And there's the potential that you could potentially lower the cost of doing business because you may deal with exchange traded funds or iShares or individual stocks, depending upon what the flavor that you enjoy in terms of your investments go. On the downside, however, what you may find is two things. One, with the 401k, depending upon what state you are in, you may have more creditor protection on the money if something happens to you versus rolling it into your IRA. But more importantly, the big downside of keeping it with the 401k provider versus moving it into your own IRA is the option to improve your beneficiary designations. Because with most employers, you really just have the ability to just designate your spouse as the primary beneficiary and not do some creative planning when it comes to the contingent beneficiaries. So those are some of the pros and cons with regards to dealing with the rollover of your 401k. So I want to share with you a couple of those opportunities that retirees typically overlook. But before I get to that, I do want you to be aware of that if you want to do the planning and find out how to maximize your retirement income, click on the link below to learn more about what our approach is with regards to those who are transitioning into retirement. So let me share with you a couple of those tips that many retirees overlook. The first is that there may be in your 401k a pre-tax and an after-tax component. So that when you do roll over that IRA, if you roll everything over at once, you may miss out on an opportunity to take that after-tax money because you can take it out tax-free. It's after tax. You may have to split it out. You want to ask your provider about the difference between the pre-tax component and the after-tax component. The second opportunity for those who are looking to retire before the age of 59 and a half is a little known IRS regulation called 72T. It's way too complex to give you all of the information now, but I will summarize it in this way. If you take money out of your IRA before 59 and a half, you're not only going to pay taxes on it, but also pay a 10% additional penalty for taking the money out early. Section 72T allows you to avoid that extra 10% penalty. Now, there are different, ways to do this, and make sure that you go to your retirement planner to make sure that you understand both the upside and the downside of instituting a Section 72T. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Tell your friends, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell below. Thank you very much for watching, and I really do hope that you enjoy the retirement journey.